That's Zeb Canmore. Friday night, how you feeling? James is talking about check stops. I just experienced my first pot check stop. Don't know if you folks have seen this. Very low tech. The police can check us alive for cannabis, but they need reasonable suspicion first. So this very low tech check stop where the cop just reaches in your car window with a huge bag of Doritos. Cracks them open and checks you for drool. And that comes to us courtesy of the genius of Justin Trudeau. It was Justin who figured out that they should legalize pot before they could even measure impairment. And then they approved a few machines for the police to buy to check whether there's any pot present at all. But those machines, I'm happy to report, don't work below a temperature of 5 degrees Celsius. So let the good times roll, Canmore. There's never been a better time to get high and get on the highway. Not that I advocate that kind of thing. Folks, speaking of great times, like a lot of Albertans in this recession, I managed to lose my job. Yeah, thanks for the sympathy, I appreciate that. But don't you worry, I won't be unemployed for long. And I'll tell you why. Because I got the same qualifications as Justin Trudeau. We both have that Bachelor of Arts degree in literature to fall back on. Yeah. You know, Canada being led by Justin feels sometimes a bit like our whole country showed up to a gunfight, armed only with a selfie stick. I've made changes to my diet, folks, since I lost my job. Trying to feed my kids a lot more free-range, locally grown, organic squirrel. Squirrel's an acquired taste, folks. But you gotta try my flambé d'écureuil écrasé. That squished squirrel on fire. Certainly sounds a lot better than what it really is in English, which is yard rat roadkill in a gasoline reduction. But the kids won't eat squirrel every night of the week, folks. They just won't. I needed cheap protein substitutes. Went to Safeway, found a fish called tilapia. Don't know if you've seen this. Bought some tilapia, brought it back, made a nice tilapia lunch before we headed out to the zoo. We got to the hippo tank and noticed there was a school of fish circling the hippo that apparently helped keep the tank clean by consuming a lot of the hippo, let's just say, excrement. Sensing a teachable moment as outstanding parents inevitably do, I turned to the keeper and said, "Sir, if you don't mind, could you tell the kids the name of that helpful shit-eating fish you got there in the tank?" And of course he said, "Oh, absolutely, that's tilapia." And folks, that was the last time anyone in our family ever ate tilapia. I guess you could say that's less of a joke and maybe more of a public service announcement. My daughter announced that she was bringing a friend home for dinner and that this friend identifies as being pansexual. I was concerned about this because I worried that a pansexual might be attracted to our cookware. Call me old-fashioned. Turns out that pansexuals are people who are open to relationships with all 77 genders. Dalhousie University, by the way, moving right along in that topic. Dalhousie has a very woke hiring policy at their school. To get a job at Dalhousie, you need to be what they call, the Human Resources Department calls, racially visible, which is the most fucking racist thing I've ever heard. It certainly leaves out me and my family, who, as hard as we try, will always be racially invisible. You know, I looked in the mirror before coming out here tonight trying to pick out an outfit. Realized nothing really goes with this skin color. White with red spots. Folks, my chest is so hollow I can collect rainwater in it, which is going to be handy to achieve my life dream of homelessness in Vancouver. I guess you'd say I'm sort of the opposite of white supremacist. I'm more of a white inadequate. So, with feelings of inadequacy and being more spotty than sporty, you can imagine there weren't a lot of dates for me in high school. I know it's hard to imagine, but try to picture it. I guess there was one date at the very end, but we had nothing to say to each other. She babbled to fill the awkward silence, while I just prayed for sweet, sweet death. Years later, I found out she'd become a lesbian. And I think I deserve most of the credit for that. Fortunately, I'm happy to report I do have a girlfriend currently who is delightful and non-lesbian, as it turns out. She dragged me out to a Ryan Gosling movie. Who doesn't like Ryan Gosling? In the business world, that's what we refer to as a tough comp. So after 2 hours of gazing at Gosling, the lights come on, and she turned to me with a look of, I'll never forget it, a look of profound disappointment. So I went up to the bathroom to have a little cry. And that's when I realized the fluorescent lighting really brings out my huge purple eye bags. And the high-speed dryers tend to make my hands look fat. Speaking of fattening, I tend to drink too many sugary liquids. Anybody else have trouble with Starbucks? Getting your name wrong, anyone? Yeah, my name's got 4 letters. F-R-E-D, 1 syllable. Watching barista Brittany concentrate a little harder than you might think as she scrawls in my cup. Minutes later, her partner barista Michaela calls out, "Tall mocha, ready for," and she squints at the cup. "Sorry, sir, is it Fred? Or fired?" Shows me the cup, says F-I-R-E-D. I said, "Michaela, you got me. If I'm honest, it's both." Fred and fired. Listen, I don't suppose you folks have got any job openings here. Because I've got a Bachelor of Arts degree in literature, and I am fantastic at spelling. I'll leave you with one last short story. Speaking of shitty experiences in coffee shops, anybody hear what happened or see what happened at the Tim Hortons in Langley, British Columbia? For those of you who missed it, I can act it out for you. Picture this: a woman barges into the Tims, storms in, but and she wants to use the washroom. She demands to use the washroom, but she's so rude that the staff actually deny her access. In retaliation, she defecates on the floor and just flings it at them. True story. True story. Now, the video of Tiger Trixie's testy, turd-tossing tirade at Tim's goes viral. When you watch that video, as I urge you to do, recognize this woman for her talent. In 8 seconds, she extrudes this log, clips her off like a cigar cutter, and just launches the thing. As Southern Albertans, I believe we've all seen professional cowboys achieve far less in 8 seconds at the greatest outdoor show on earth. Not only did this woman show awesome sphincter control, she did not throw like a girl. This lady flung her own dung like a coked up chimpanzee playing shortstop. That's my time, folks. My name's Fred Kerr. I want to thank you for listening.